Hi guys, welcome back to another episode of Reality with Tammy, and we are recapping Love Island UK episode 4. So, how are you guys liking this season so far? I don't know. Everyone's saying it's dry, but we've been saying this for the UK for the past 4 seasons. Is it on its last leg? Is this show about to be cancelled? Guys, grab your drink, come on down, let's recap. So, I'm going to do something a little bit different because taking detailed notes for all these boring conversations, it feels like homework. I want this to be fun. You know what I'm saying? I want to feel like we're enjoying ourselves here. So let's start with the episode. So basically, last episode, we end off with Samraj and Ellie getting dumped, and then we see that they got a text and they're headed to the hideaway, and they will be rejoining the house guests very shortly. So then we fast forward to the next morning, and the girls are all talking, and Micah is basically saying to Robin, "Hey, I think you and George have a great connection. I love that for you." And guys, so I wasn't picking up on some of the microaggressions from George towards Samraj, and because I think if it was a black person in that space, I would pick it up easier. You know what I'm saying? Because I've dealt with those type of microaggressions myself. So I wasn't really understanding, because to me, Samraj is a very good looking man, and I didn't realize that there's also a social hierarchy. Actually, I knew that, but it's much louder when it's your own people. Do you know what I mean? So Yamraj and George, apparently there's been a lot of things that have been said about like that people believe George doesn't really, like, he's, maybe, I don't know if the word is threatened by Samraj, but he's very cocky, this George character, and he's been removed from the villa, by the way. So we find out this morning that George has left the villa. They didn't give us any reason why, and people are speculating that either he just decided to walk because maybe the producers let him in on how the public is perceiving some of the words and the way he's talking to Samraj. And apparently he called Opie annoying. He called Yasmin. You guys, apparently they were going to vote Yasmin yesterday. And for real, why did they say Yasmin's name? Anyways, so George is out of the villa, and good riddance of bad rubbish, because he was rubbing me off today, and we'll get to it with this conversation with Samraj later today. And then we see we see Yasmin and Aiden have a conversation on the terrace, and they end up kissing, and she said the kiss was shit. So they had another kiss. And I don't know, this Aiden guy, he's so sloppy. He's all over the place, guys. What is happening? Then we go to the hideaway and we see Ellie and Samraj talking, and basically talking about what happened the night before. They're both upset. Look at Ellie here. Yeah, she had so much vim. I'm not going to take shit. I'm going to come back. Bah. The way Yasmin is her mama. Anyways, so they get a text that they're going to be going on a double date with 2 new bombshells, and they're very excited, and they get ready to go on their date. So we get a date, and we meet, I forget the girl, Priya. Kavan and Priya join the villa. And quickly, Kavan tells Ellie that Aiden is his brother. And I guess the producers are producing, but isn't that awkward? It's giving sloppy seconds. It's giving, I don't even know what it's giving, but this Love Island producers, you can see that they're really trying to make a good show, but I don't know if it's landing. But you know what? He's a better looking version than Aiden. What do y'all, I think is a better looking version of Aiden, because all his features are just a little bit more in the right place than Aiden's features, but I don't know. Then Priya and Samraj are both Indian. Priya's dad is Indian, she said, and I believe Greek. And I'm seeing that the trend for this season is no blacks, but Asians. And it's very interesting to me that British people call Indians Asians, because in North America, we call them brown, right? Blacks, browns, Asians. There are more East Asians here. When we say Asian, you're probably talking about an East Asian. No, you're talking, yeah, East Asian rather than a South Asian. Whereas in the UK, whenever they say Asian, they're talking about South Asians, which is so funny to me, because I'm just like, wow, two different, they're from the continent of Asia, but two different cultures entirely. Then we get into a conversation with Ellie and not Ellie, I keep saying Ellie's name, with Yasmin and Robin, and she said, "Oh, we just had a kiss." But she's, guys, what did you think that was? Do you think she was just regretting the kiss? She was talking to Robin about how, she's not really sure. And to me, it felt like a bit guilty that she sent Ellie home and the kiss was not even that good. Or maybe she just realizing she doesn't really like this man as much as she thought. Or maybe she's just like, he's too desperate because she cut both quick kisses quickly, very quickly. Typically, when people have been anticipating kissing each other for a long time, they basically end up kissing passionately. So it was very interesting because it looks like she was regretting kissing the guy. I don't know what was going on with her in that moment, but let me know what you guys think in the comments. Then we have Aiden and Yasmin talking, and Aiden tells Yasmin that, hey, I kind of Jasmine yesterday that I would pick her if we had a recoupling, but he basically said the truth. He was like, I wanted her to pick me if she had to pick, but then what if she didn't end up picking me and then I lose Ellie too? He's like, so he didn't know if it was the right thing to do. It was a risky thing to do. And he was very honest with it because I feel like most people on Love Island don't admit that that is how their brain thought process works. But he was very honest about it. Then we joined Samraj, Ellie and the two new bombshells joined the villa. And coming to the villa, everybody is like, of course, Okpe is screaming. Guys, Okpe is actually funny to me. And then Aiden's like, wait, that's my brother. Wait, hold on a second. Do you guys think these two boys didn't know that they were coming on Love Island? Because why was Aiden acting so shocked that his brother was there? I feel like they definitely would have had a clue. There's no way he wouldn't have had a clue that his brother was coming on. So then everybody debriefs and has a chat. And my goodness, Samraj called George a snake. That was hilarious. So we're just going to go into the two chats between the people that got dumped. So George and Samraj have a conversation, and George did not, when I tell you George did not care, there was not 1 ounce of remorse in that conversation. He came off snobbish. He just came off so fake. George cannot stand Samraj. And if it's microaggression that is doing him, so be it. Because now he's out of the villa, thank you. But damn, that conversation was so awkward. Because he was like, yeah, did it. So what? Then we go to Ellie, the girls talking. And basically, you guys, when I tell you I stan Robin, that is my favorite character of the season. She just says it how it is. She doesn't mince her words. She does not sugarcoat anything. She's like, oh, by the way, come and hear what Aiden has been telling people that he told Yasmin that he would have picked her yesterday. Oh, really? Then the two girls go have a conversation. And if you see the way Yasmin played Ellie came on smoke, or I thought it was really snaky. She did try to say how she was feeling, but by the end, while they both laughing and spinning and jumping, and the way Yasmin, oh, how did you feel about the dates with Kavan? I was like, master class in avoiding conflict. What a wow. No, Yasmin's a very smart girl. She knows what she's doing. And I can't lie, I like her for my TV. I'm not saying I like her like in terms of as a person, but as a TV character, she's giving us something because, wow. Now Ellie and her are back to being besties. Then Aiden and his brother have a conversation and they're ranking the girls in the villa. Aiden says, still fancies Yasmin. Kavan lists his top 3. He says it's Yasmin. He says Yasmin. I don't even remember. Who were the other 2 girls he said? Yasmin. I don't think he said Jasmine. Even though when he was talking with the boys, he said Jasmine's name and they said, oh, she's hard work. Guys, sorry that an intellectual baby people cannot handle her. Why is Yasmin hard work? Why? Okay, so what else? Yes, I forget who he said was in his top. He said, oh, the 3 fittest girls are Yasmin. Did he say, he wouldn't have said Priya because she's a bomb. I think he said Ellie, Yasmin, and maybe Mika. Yeah, I think that's who he said. And then, yeah, we basically have a conversation, and Yasmin have a conversation. They're just both flirty. She says she still likes him. He's the one, blah, blah. Then Aiden and Ellie have a conversation, and she basically tells him, why didn't you tell me that you were gonna pick her if it was a recoupling? And she didn't really grill him. She just said, oh, I'm pissed, I'm pissed. Doesn't mean you're still fit. Like, when I tell you guys need to stand on business, we need to stand on business. She should have been like, yeah, I didn't like that you did that. And no, I don't think you're fit anymore. Your brother is fitter than you. I want to smash your brother. Okay, not go that far, but why are you making him feel good about himself after he already know he's two-timing you and he doesn't even want you as his number one? Guys, anyways. So we then get a text that there will be a recoupling tonight, and that, yeah, there'll be a recoupling, and the two new bombshells will get to pick first, and if they don't pick between Samraj and Ellie, they're gonna get dumped. So what was the point of the second chance? Producers, what kind of twist is this? Because it's trying, but they're almost there, but they're not quite there yet. Because obviously, unless you're somebody like George, if it was George that was picking, that guy could be on some BS. But what do you guys think? Okay, let's make a prediction. I think Priya's gonna pick Samraj, solidarity to her brother. Not her brother, but her fellow. Because if I was black and there was another black person, I'm picking them. Sorry, it is what it is. And I think he will keep Ellie. I think they're gonna be safe. I'm gonna pick 2 for 2. If anybody's gonna be the weak link, I think it's gonna be Kavan picking. So I don't see him connecting with anybody else quite yet. So I think they're gonna stay. But it's such a dumb twist because there's not really any incentive for the new people to pick anybody else. Yeah, so that's our episode. Who are you guys feeling? Who do you like? Let me know in the comments. And we need to put George in the bin today. Okay, just in the bin. Thank you very much. All right, bye.